So guys, welcome back to another video, and today what we are going to do is we are going to further discuss some of the shapes, geometrical shapes, and under which we are going to have a discussion on quadrilaterals, and then we will understand some of the 3D shapes, three-dimensional shapes. So far we have only discussed shapes which are basically 2D, which means which can be drawn on a piece of paper. Now we will also look at some of the shapes which are in the third dimension, which means that there will be a length, there will be a breadth, and then there will be a height or a depth as well. Okay. But before that, what we have learned today is what we will learn today is basically this. We will learn about quadrilaterals, what are the types of quadrilaterals, what are the 3D shapes, and typically we'll cover prism, we will cover pyramid, cone, cylinder, cube, cuboid. Okay. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. So quadrilaterals basically it comes from the word quad, which means four. Okay. So just like triangle, quadrilateral will have four sides. Let's call it quadrilateral A, B, C, T. So it will have four sides, it will have four angles, it will have four vertices, okay, and quadrilateral will have two diagonals. If you remember, what are diagonals? Diagonals are nothing but when you draw a line from the joining the opposite vertices or the opposite angles, then those lines are known as diagonals. So a quadrilateral will have four sides, four angles, four vertices, and two diagonals. That is what a quadrilateral is. As simple as that. And the sum of all the internal angles, which is angle A, angle B, angle C, and angle D, is equal to 360 degree. Okay. Now let's move to what are the different types of quadrilaterals. Now we will start with the simple one, which is a square. Okay. What is a square? All the four sides are equal length, all the four angles are equal and are of 90 degree each. Okay. And this is a square, which means that opposite sides are parallel to each other. Opposite sides are parallel to each other. Okay. And the length of the diagonal will also be equal. So both the diagonals will be of equal length, and the diagonals will bisect each other at an angle of 90 degrees. So both the diagonals are perpendicular bisectors of each other. That is what a square is. That's it, nothing else. Then we go to another quadrilateral, which is rectangle. Okay, so what is a rectangle? Broadly all the things, there is only a little bit of a difference between a rectangle and a square, and let's see what. Rectangle also four sides, all four angles are equal and are of 90 degree, but all four sides are not equal. Okay, only opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal to each other, and obviously they are parallel to each other because all the angles are 90, so they will be parallel to each other. Okay. Both the diagonals of a rectangle are also equal in length. Okay. However, the diagonals bisect each other but not at 90 degree. So in square the diagonals bisect each other but at 90 degree. In a rectangle this angle will differ. One angle will be obtuse, this angle is obtuse, and this angle will be acute. So that's the difference between the square and a triangle, square and a rectangle. Okay. So if you look at a square, all the squares are rectangles because opposite sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel, diagonals are equal in length. So square is a rectangle, but rectangle is not a square. That is the second type of quadrilateral. Now let's get to learn about a third type of quadrilateral. Okay. The third type of quadrilateral is a parallelogram. Now what is a parallelogram? It is something like this. Let's call it parallelogram A, B, C, D. Now parallelogram also, opposite sides are equal in length. Opposite angles are also equal. So angle C will be equal to angle A. Angle B will be equal to angle D. But all the four angles will not be equal to each other. Okay. And there will be two diagonals. Once again, both the diagonals will be of equal length, and the diagonals will bisect each other, but not at an angle of 90 degree. So that is the definition of a parallelogram. Parallelogram. Okay. Now, just for comparison and understanding, let me draw a rectangle here. Let me draw a square here. So a square is a parallelogram. Why? Because opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal. Opposite sides are parallel to each other. That is the definition of a parallelogram. Simple. Diagonals are also of equal length. They bisect each other. So a square is a parallelogram. Similarly, a rectangle is also a parallelogram because opposite sides are equal and opposite sides are parallel. Opposite angles are also equal because all angles are 90 degree. So both square and rectangle are parallelogram, but not all parallelograms will be a rectangle. Yeah, only those parallelogram where the internal angle will be 90 degree, only those will be rectangles. Okay, and if there is a parallelogram whose all the four sides are equal and 90 degree, then it becomes square. Then there is another type of parallelogram for which all the four sides are equal and parallel, okay, but the angles are not 90 degree. Okay, so this such a parallelogram is known as rhombus, and one of the rhombus's diagonal, it bisects each other at an angle of 90 degree. So rhombus is something that you can confuse with a square, but the only difference is that in a square all the internal angles are equal and 90 degree, whereas in case of rhombus that is not the case. Opposite angles are equal, but all the four sides are parallel and equal to each other. That's a rhombus. So that is the interplay between parallelogram, rectangle, square, and a rhombus. Now out of these two, square and rhombus, they are similar because obviously both of them are parallelograms, and their diagonals bisect each other at an angle of 90 degree. That is the similarity. Yeah, so between square and rhombus. Now let's talk about another type of quadrilateral, which basically is trapezium. Now trapezium is a quadrilateral. Let's call it A, B, C, D. What is a trapezium? Basically understand that draw a triangle, okay, and then cut a section. Take it out, take the top half out. So if I were to remove the top half, okay, if I were to remove it completely, whatever is left is basically a trapezium. So whatever is left here is a trapezium. So this A, B, C, D is a trapezium. Now AB, only condition being that AB has to be parallel to CD. So a trapezium is a quadrilateral where two sides are parallel to each other, and then two other sides are non-parallel to each other. So that's how you differentiate between a trapezium and a parallelogram. Okay. So this is all types of quadrilateral, and any quadrilateral sum of all internal angles is 360 degree. So now quickly let's move into learning 3D shapes. So till now whatever we were learning, basically you can draw all of this on a piece of paper and understand that that is the dimension. There is a length and then there is a breadth. But what if, let's say this is a screen that I am writing on, if something were to be coming out of it, right? So if we have to measure this dimension also, then this is the third dimension. And most of the objects are three dimensional in real nature. For example, if you take a glass in which we drink water, okay, it is a three dimensional because there is a circle at the base, but then there is this whole thing which is above it, right, in the third dimension. So a glass is a 3D figure, a katori, for example, or a bowl in which you know put dal, etc. in it. It is also 3D. So most of the things that you see in real life, they are three dimensional, and therefore it is important to understand some of the 3D shapes to begin with. The first shape and the easiest shape is cube. Have you seen a dice of a Ludo? Yeah. So if you have seen the dice of a Ludo, it is a cube. Now my exercise to you will be is that take a cube and see how many faces it has. Yeah. So this is one face. There will be at the bottom. This is the second face. This face here, right here, is the third. This is the fourth. The one which you see here at the back is the fifth, and the one you see here at the top is sixth. So a cube will have six faces. All these six faces or sides, okay, six faces or sides, or basically, you know, all the three levels which you see, they are all squares in case of a cube, and all the angles which you see here, either here or this angle or this angle or this angle, all these angles are 90 degree. So basically cube is nothing but a 3D projection of a square. That is your cube. And a cube will have how many vertices? Let us count. So if, just to avoid confusion, let me draw a slightly larger cube. And a easier way to draw a cube is this. So you assume that, okay, something in the center, something like that, and then you try to draw a similar square, and then you just put these straight lines, and your cube representation is done. So now we are counting how many vertices. Okay. So this is vertex 1, this is vertex 2, this is vertex 3, this is vertex 4. Okay. Let's go piche. This is vertex 5, this is vertex 6. Let's come down. This is vertex 7, this is vertex 8. Now, will there be any more vertices? The answer is no. So there is going to be 8 vertices. How many edges? These are edges. Okay. And it will be easier if you pick up a Ludo dice and count it yourself. You will really be able to visualize it. Now let's count the edges. And we will do it in different colors so as to avoid confusion. Okay. So this is edge 1. This is edge 2. This is edge 3. This is edge 4. Now let's do it again. Let's go piche. This is edge 5. This is edge 6. This is again bottom and piche. This is edge 7. This is edge 8. So 4 in the front, 4 in the back, 8. But there is more. This is 9. This is 10 at the top, connecting the top, okay? And then this is 11 and this is 12. So there will be 12 edges. So a cube will have 6 faces or sides, okay? 8 vertices and 12 edges. That is your cube, okay? Now let's say the same thing but a cuboid. What is a cuboid? Cuboid is basically a 3D projection of a triangle. So all the things will be same. Even the cuboid will have 6 faces, it will have 8 vertices, it will have 12 edges. But all the sides or all the edges, they will not be of equal length. So here this is a square, this is a square. In case of a cuboid, the length and the breadth and the height will be different. So this will be of a different length, okay? This will be of a different length. This is the length, this is the height, okay? And this is the breadth. This will be of a different length. So let's say this is of 2 centimeter. This can be of 3 centimeter. This can be of 4 centimeter. And it can also be equal, but they cannot all be equal with each other. One has to be different, okay? Then it will become a cuboid. So just like rectangles and squares, all cubes are cuboids, okay? All cubes are cuboids, but all cuboids are not cubes, okay? And the similarity is that they will all intersect each other at 90 degrees. So that is maintained. Baki everything is same. That is the difference between cubes and cuboids. Now, and the best way to understand cuboid is to just pick up a book. Just pick up a book that is a cuboid. You will see that the length of the book is different. The height will be different. It is also known as depth sometimes, okay? And the breadth, obviously, it will be different, okay? So that will be your cuboid. Now we will look into something known as prism. So I don't know if you're in your school labs you have seen it or not. Prism is basically, if you pass light through prism, it will segregate into different colors. You should be able to see 7 colors. Okay, diffraction of light happens when you pass it through a prism. So what is a prism? Prism is basically you take 4 triangles, okay, something like this. I don't know if I'm able to draw it properly or not. So see, take 3 triangles. Let's say take triangle 1, okay, then take another triangle, okay, attach. They are all tied at this vertex, okay. Take this triangle, then between this and this triangle take another triangle and attach. Now the base, this is the base, okay. So this base will be vacant, so take another, but it is a triangle, take another triangle and put it here. That will be your prism. So prism is basically 4 triangles, okay. 4 triangles we are basically we are basically joining together to create a cone type of a structure, but all the 4 sides will be triangles. It will have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. It will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, six, yeah. And let me 1 second. Oops, just a moment. Yeah. So let's count now the edges of a. So we have taken 4 triangles. So basically 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, 5, okay, and then 6. So there will be 6 edges. The sides basically is faces, okay. So don't confuse sides with edges. Edges are these edges that you see, right? And sides or faces are the whole this thing. This is a face, right? So 4 triangles and therefore 4 faces. So that is the definition of a prism. Generally in a prism the triangles can be of any shape, but for the purpose of simplicity, 4 equilateral triangles also form a prism, but it is not compulsory. Now let's talk about something which is a pyramid. Now pyramid is something, okay, there is a triangle here. Have you seen these cottages in houses? Okay, you must have drawn as a child these houses. So this kind of a roof, basically if I just cut the roof and take it out. So let me just cut the roof and take it out. So this is what remains. And this is the projection, right? This is the back side of it, which you are not able to see. So what is this? This will be basically a rectangle. If you see it from the top, it will look like this. If you just see from the top, it will look like this. If you see from this side, it will only look like a triangle, because the back triangle and this triangle is equal. So if I am looking from this side, I will only be able to see this. And this is the view from the side where I am able to see this, right? So that's how you will see it. So there is a triangle here, there is a triangle here, okay, and then you join the vertex to vertex, and then you join this vertex to this, and you join this vertex to this. So basically this becomes a rectangle or a square depending on the gap between it. And this is a pyramid. Yeah. So a pyramid basically will have one triangle surface, okay, second triangle surface. What will be this surface? This surface will be a parallelogram, because this and this is parallel, this and this is parallel. So two triangle surfaces, two parallelogram surfaces, and one rectangle surface. That is what is a pyramid. Okay. So this you have to understand. And then we have to understand cone and cylinder. So, okay, have you eaten puffed rice, or have you eaten ice cream? Right? They give you ice cream in this thing. So if I remove the ice cream completely from the top, let's remove the ice cream. What is remaining is a cone. So if you look at this cone, there are two ways to represent a cone, either like this or like this. So this is an inverted cone, this is a cone, same thing, no problem. Only just we have rotated it and we have kept it on its base. So if I look at the cone from the top, what I will see is a circle with a point, because there is this point, and then I will not see this. I will just straight away see the circle which is at the bottom, right? So that is how I will see. When I am seeing it from the side, that's how it will look. If I have a side-ish kind of a view, that's how I will look at it. That's how I will see a cone. So you have all seen a cone. Basically, cone is nothing but one surface is circle, and then there is a rotated sort of a. So if you look at it, there are many circles here of decreasing radius, and then when we put all of it together, it becomes a cone. So that is your cone from a conceptual understanding. And then let me tell you, I will not tell you what is the volume and all, because right now it's just important to understand the construction of these shapes. Once you have understood that, then in the later videos I will cover that also. Then there is cylinder. I think the easiest of all. Cylinder, we all have seen the pani ka tanki that is on the rooftop, or we have seen drums in which we keep water, petrol and other things, or we have seen drums in which we keep grains. So that is your cylinder. You have seen a pencil. When you have not sharpened it, then your pencil is also a cylinder. So basically what is a cylinder is that there are two flat surfaces which are basically two circles at top and bottom of equal diameter or radius. Then so you see that there is lots of circles of equal radius, and then you just join them together. That becomes a cylinder. As simple as that. Okay, so cylinder will have a radius, which means the radius of the base. It will have a height, that will be the height of the cylinder. That's all. These are the two length parameters that you need to know about a cylinder. As simple as that. Okay, this is the radius, this is the radius. Now, I mean, it is not asked right now, but then there is something you should know once if you are talking about cylinder, which basically is a frustum. So frustum, this is a frustum. Basically what you do is that you take a cone and you cut it. So you take a cone, right, this is a cone, and you cut it from here parallel, and you remove the top part, and then whatever you get, you will get a smaller circle here, you will get a larger circle here, that is a frustum. So frustum is nothing but your balti, which is inverted. Have you seen your balti or bucket in the bathroom? How does a typical bucket look like? So or a flower vase. Okay, there is a circular bottom, which is a smaller circle, and then there is a larger, you know, or a tabla for that. No, tabla is like, so forget tabla and all, but yeah, a flower vase or a gamla or a bucket is a classic example of what is known as frustum. So frustum, this R1 is different from this R2, and this is the height, and then length of the inclined slides and stuff like that. We will learn about it later, but just understand that that's a frustum. So that was all in today's video, and this is all very quickly. Let me summarize what we learned. We learned quadrilaterals, different types of quadrilaterals, square, rhombus, rectangle, parallelogram, trapezium. Uh, okay, I think that was that. And then some 3D shapes: prism, pyramid, cone, cylinder, cube, and cuboid. And we also talked about frustum. Why I talked about frustum? Because when I was in class 10, there used to be a question on it. So, which is why I thought that at least I will introduce the concept of a frustum. Yeah. So that was all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, then please, uh, you know, share the video with more people, with more students who can come in and share this knowledge. And if you have any feedback for me, please do write to me. That's my email ID. And thank you so much once again for watching the video.